Avraham lived post-flood and post the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel was very different from the time of the flood. The flood was barbaric, uncivilized, and people were being reduced to their most base instincts and desires and so on. The building of the Tower of Babel required cooperation, language, technology, science. Society was much more cohesive. They worked together, but they worked together to create a world that doesn't have divine intervention in it. They didn't want to believe that there is an almighty God that's running the world. They believed in the laws of nature. One of the most beautiful explanations for why they built the Tower of Babel is that they said to themselves, the flood happened in the year 1676 from the creation of the world. And it was a one-time event. But then they said, no, it can't be a one-time event because there's no such a thing as miracles. So, conclusion, every 1676 years, every 1676 years, there's a flood. So we have to get ready for the next one. Which is just like today, people are being told, the world, if you go down to the most fundamental physics, laws of physics, it's fine-tuned to the umpteenth degree to create life. If gravity was a little bit stronger, a little bit weaker, if the electromagnetic force was a little bit stronger, a little bit weaker, then the universe wouldn't have survived, wouldn't have lasted, and wouldn't have maintained life. The world, you forget evolution. Evolution may be explained away, the complexity, the biological complexity. But now you have complexity on the level of physics. And it's unbelievable. It's fine-tuned. From the first instant of the Big Bang, it was fine-tuned to sustain life. So what are people saying? Oh, there must be a multiverse, and we just happen to be on the one universe that sustains life. And the other universe just didn't make it. So we're on like a physics kind of evolution idea, and no evidence for this infinite amount of universes. But it's I call it the will to disbelieve. If you don't want to believe that there's a creator, you'll do everything in your power to disbelieve that there's a creator. And that was the generation of Avraham. So in a way, he was living in a similar generation that we're living to, in the sense of having a kind of scientific worldview that encompasses, purports to encompass everything, but pushes away a creator, and especially a creator that intervenes with the world. So coming out of the Tower of Babel, and this society that is basically saying that celebrates humanity and the advantage of humans to animals. We are rational beings. We have science. We have technology. It celebrates it. It's the opposite of what happened before Noah. But now that becomes the problem. The problem is that we believe too much in mankind. But before the flood, it was believing too little in mankind. Now we believe too much in mankind, and so we think that the man is king, and God is out of the picture. And Avraham himself, in the beginning, was like this because he was an astrologer. And as an astrologer, he believed that the laws of nature, you can see them in the stars, and the movement of the stars, and that was the science of his day. And that was the whole picture. And that's why he believed that he and his wife will never have children, because he saw in the stars that Avram and Sarai are barren and will forever remain barren. And then God reveals himself to him. And the God of a transcendent God, not an immanent God. Basically, it was coming from Shem Elokim to Shem Havaya, God's proper higher name that's above the laws of nature. And then he realized that there is something superior to nature, the laws of nature. In our generation, that means that we know everything we know about the brain, we know everything we know about the laws of nature, and it appears ridiculous to believe in miracles, and to believe in higher worlds, and to believe in the world to come, and to believe in the soul and in free choice. But we just have to remember, and this is the lesson we learned from Avraham, that science only describes the visible world, the world of phenomenon and regularities, but it doesn't account for everything that you don't see, and the irregular phenomena of basically the hidden world bursting into the revealed world. And realizing that you have all back then it was the astrological system, and then realizing, God told Avraham, come out of your astrology, come out of your belief in this system, that explains everything. I am higher than the stars. He took him outside of the world. He looked at the stars from above, and he showed them that there's another force at play, and I can change your names, change your destiny. And same goes for our generation. Science, we don't have to throw away science. Throwing science, being anti-science, that's like gluing the old charts together and trying to regain the old innocence. Science is wonderful. Science is the best way to explain the physical world. But science is limited. Science only explores the regular happenings of nature, but not the special one-time events in which we get a glimpse of levels of reality, spiritual levels of reality that are coming into play in this world, which are really sort of glimmers of Shem Havaya, like God's face shining in through the cracks of physical reality. So for us today, it's having a post-scientific faith, a faith that basically says, science is wonderful, but science only paints half the picture, the lower half of the picture, the physical half of the picture. It's the best way to describe the physical world, but the physical world is not everything there is. There's more behind it. The riddle of consciousness, the miracle of consciousness is still a miracle, and it's still a wonder, and it's like a porthole into a universe of spiritual experiences and spiritual realms that consciousness is privy to, that the brain is it's just like a computer console that you plug into something much, much more magnificent, which is the spiritual world. So the lesson from Avraham, the lesson from Noach was having faith in mankind, and the lesson from Avraham is having faith in God and spirituality that's above mankind, above the physical world, and bringing back into the world. We need both of them in our generation.